that a few weeks ago, I was asked to go to a friend's 50th birthday. My wife and I, a friend that I've known for almost 20 years, and a friend that had, put a lot of time and energy into his 50th birthday. It was in Napa, which was in the orange status, relatively loose compared to some other counties. It was an outdoor restaurant, and we started the program started at 4 o'clock. It was one of those early reservations. I got there a little bit late at 4:30. And as soon as I sat down at the larger table, I realized it was a little larger group than I had anticipated. And I made a bad mistake. Instead of sitting down, I should have stood up and walked back, got in my car, and drove back to my house. Instead, I chose to sit there with my wife and a number of other couples that were outside the household. And you can quibble about the guidelines, et cetera, but the spirit of what I'm preaching all the time was contradicted, and I got to own that. And so I want to apologize to you because I need to preach and practice, not just preach and not practice. And I've done my best to do that. We're all human. We all fall short sometimes. We've been out, and I think for 3 times since, in fact, I know it's been 3 times because I remember all of those dinners very, very vividly since February, just 3 times. Twice with my wife, by myself, outdoors, and then this one occasion with a larger group. And there were just a few extra people there than the spirit of what I am promoting. And so I minimize.
Were you saying something?
Look,
I don't speak Spanish.
I just want folks to know that. Paid for our dinner, and we had an early dinner, but didn't matter. I shouldn't have been there. I should have turned back around. And so when that happens, you pay the price, but you also own the mistake, and you don't ever make it again.
I'll eat your ass. I will. I will eat your ass.
Nerdrotic.com.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. What our illustrious governor did not point out there is he went to the French Laundry, which is, he's too poor to go to that restaurant. One of the cheapest plates there is just under $1,000. And that restaurant is in Marin, which conveniently had less, was in the orange status because that's where the governor hangs out. And this kind of corruption is just going to go on and on and on because of partisanship. I got people blindly following this guy because he's got a D next to his name. He's a douchebag. That D is for douchebag. And he's lost a lot of Democrats in this state. He did every time Nancy Pelosi gets her hair done without her mask on, which was once, but that was enough. Every time this guy gets caught at a dinner when we can't go to Thanksgiving or Christmas, they say we can't. We're going to fucking do it anyway. This corrupts the system. It makes people feel like shit because they have been following the rules and they feel like idiots after they do it. You know, they're going to be asking for our taxes pretty soon here. And, you know, I felt like an idiot the last time I paid them. And there's, you know, this kind of stuff, of course it needs to stop. He is the perfect representation of a douchey, lying ass politician, the kind that Disney and Warner Brothers and all of big tech backed. They backed this dude right into the governor's mansion after he had done next to nothing in his life. He wanted to talk about privilege. He was given this job practically, as far as the mayor was concerned for San Francisco, doing nothing. They say he started a business. Well, that business was started with a giant grant from his daddy, because his daddy used to work with the Getty Oil Corporation. It is just fucking nepotism, corruption, and it is destroying what really makes this country go: small business. And this is a war on small business. It is being decimated right now. And Jeff Bezos is winning, and Netflix is winning. Walmart is winning. And while they're open, my gym isn't. I don't know what the difference is, because there's more people, there's a Target down the street from me, and it's filled with people right now. Filled. And in the gym I was going to, they were already practicing social distancing, so I wasn't within 20 feet of somebody at any time in that gym, and it was cleaner than Target. We were all cleaning our equipment before and after. Now I have to go to the gym, which is fine. I'm grateful. I'm glad this one gym is able to take their equipment and put it outside, and hope it doesn't get ripped off, because they have to put it outside and then pull it back in every night. And this is weight sets, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't think the gyms are going to be able to survive another round of this. And gyms are essential, in my opinion. They are absolutely essential. They're more essential than pretend, because they keep your immune system healthy, and that's what you kind of need right now. And even with the most basic work, we can go outside and go for a walk, but the routine aspect of a gym is very helpful for your mind, for your body, for your heart. And we could talk about, the death I had in my family. Would this have happened if Koof wasn't around, if there wasn't all of these insane restrictions, and he was able to go to all of his appointments regularly instead of via video, when he had a degenerative vein disease, possibly from Agent Orange in Vietnam? Well, I guess we'll never know. And that's some stuff that's my father-in-law, by the way, who just passed. And that's the kind of stuff we're thinking about now. I'm a little pissed. I'm still a little pissed from this. This happened days ago, and I've been trying to keep it to pop culture. But, every time something like this happens, it just reminds me that the system won. The system won, and a lot of people helped it win. And we'll see what happens. But welcome, everyone, to the Nerdrotic Nooner. How's it going? We've got a lot to talk about. This clown, we'll talk about that clown some more. We've got Doctor Who we're going to talk about, because apparently over in the UK, pretend is way more important than the British business owner. And then, of course, we have some horrific art to go over, and nothing really symbolizes what the comic industry is more than what is on my thumbnail. That Captain Marvel art is something I can do better with my left hand. And I'm not even a professional artist. It is a joke. And in that panel, Captain Marvel says, "Lose the men." I'll give you the context to that later, but that's what the comic industry did. They went so hard for an audience that just plain ass doesn't exist for floppy comic books that they ended up losing the established one they had. Does that not sound familiar? Doctor Who, Star Trek. By the way, I was going to review Star Trek, but CBS All Access went down again. Darn. So I got halfway through that hot mess, and I'll do a review later. Due to some family obligations, I can't do an Exozone tonight, so that's why I'm going live now. That's why we're doing it now. So let's see who's here. Greetings, everyone. DJ Beto, Heritage Media, Marco Antonio Checafonque says, hello to you. J-Roar 123, America's Finest, Bird of Prey 5, Kapla. I will be watching your review after I'm done with mine. Markler Zeth and Eric K., thank you for being here with your wrenches. I appreciate it. Master Sidearms, Vintage Libra, Jeremiah Fix, Lockzilla, and Sefurer family. Ooh. And DM Foe, Brightest Day, Cool Hand, Chris Persia and his wrench, the Canadian wrench, Ebony Salt, Chris Raposa, Upgraded, like Pedro. Oh, I guess we'll talk about Pedro. I didn't really talk about Boobygate either. I missed all of that over the weekend. Fat Freddy's Cat and the Nukem Doctrine. What's up, everybody? So, and there's some super chats I missed from Friday that we're going to read as well, and they will be read Friday. I think I have finally a solution to that problem, and it's just another monitor. I need another monitor, which I just ordered. I'm being extra cheap these days. So, we got a new member too. That's good. All right. So since the last time we talked, I've reviewed The Mandalorian and Star Trek Discovery. The last week's episode is not getting any better. Thought The Mandalorian was pretty good for what The Mandalorian is. Oh, and Disney screwing over a legend. That reminds me. Alan Dean Foster wrote the second book I ever read all the way through when I was a wee little lad, Splinter of the Mind's Eye. Read it freaking cover to cover because we all thought that was going to be Star Wars 2 back in the day. We were calling it Star Wars 2 back in the day. And apparently he hasn't got any of his royalties since Disney purchased Star Wars. Disney's attitude is, we didn't purchase any of the liabilities, which would upend copyright law. I mean, just absolutely screw so many people out. I mean, like DC did that when they changed from DC Comics, I believe, to DC Entertainment. They did something similar, screwed people out of their residuals. Don't count on those things, and stop giving big corporations your best ideas. That would be my best suggestion. A little late for Alan Dean Foster, who has been an integral part of Star Wars, I would say. The man is a legend, again. And screwing him over, well, that's a bad look, Disney. They don't seem to care, though. They don't seem to give a rat's ass because they lost $7 billion. Oh, yeah. And Wonder Woman killed the movie theater. One or the other. Look for No Time to Die to follow suit if they can sell. And look for Black Widow to go to streaming. And as I stated in my video, I believe Bob Iger and Jason Kilar and whoever else is a CEO of a major corporation, they know Gavin Newsom's phone number. They probably know some congressmen and women's phone number. So when I'm guessing they hear about a lockdown long before we do. How do I know that? Well, without giving up the person's name, we knew the San Francisco lockdown was going to happen a week before it did because my wife knew somebody. We'll just say she knew a guy or a gal, and they dropped that information on us a week early. So we were able to prepare for it a little bit, tried to hint to it in a couple of live streams, and it happened. And boy, have we been locked down ever since. And it could go forever. You poor guys in the UK, I was just reading an article. It's from the Sun. So, but they think the lockdown is going to get extended. Now you guys might know more than I, but yeah. So I've got some articles. We're going to start out with, let's talk about this. Let's really piss off YouTube today. Shall we? I don't know what the whole story was behind this. My boy Ryan jumped on this, and it's about that film that shall not be named. It's still in the news. Well, this film is almost guaranteed to get an Academy Award, which is sickening. What's going on here? Hang on. I want to get rid of that one. And let's make it so you can see the whole thing. There we go. All right. Well, I don't know if this is talking about the description or not. I don't know what happened last night. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but there was a description up. I don't know if he talks about this. Nope, they don't. There was a really sick description on Google last night. I don't know if somebody hacked it or what. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll just read it to you. It's really disgusting. but it sounds almost like a prank to me, but I don't know. But this was actually on Google. And it says, we test each, okay, so it says cuties. IMDb has a 3 out of 10, Rotten Tomatoes 80%, Metacritic 67%. It's 15% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Here is the description. We test each one of these beautiful girls and see how far they can go before they gag during their audition. Now, it sounds to me like somebody hacked it. I don't know if that's possible, or somebody at Google. Maybe you guys know more than me. But when you hear something like that, you're not surprised, or somebody was being funny. I don't know. But yes, it looks like it's going to make the short list for the French films to be considered submission for the Academy Awards. And I can almost promise you this is going to win. It's going to win. And, you know, we got to be thankful for places like Bounding Into Comics who will run stuff like this, because nobody else will. And if we talk about it here on YouTube, we get in trouble or demonetized, whatever. Demonetize me. This will never, ever, ever be okay. This is something they will try to normalize. They will try to say in other countries, the age of consent is different. And I honestly don't care about other countries. I don't live there. I would disagree with that, especially having kids. Currently in California, I think 17-year-olds can vote now. That is dumb, but that's why I'm leaving. But the more we have this normalization going on, and they being the people defending this film, which is that's the most confusing part. I think there's a naivete behind that, and there's also a lot of partisanship behind that, especially since they made this into some weird narrative. They tried to lump this in with some other conspiracy theories. I watched this movie. I'm sorry I did. And I stand by what I said. Sick. It's sick. And, the only cool thing that came out of it is I ended up in an Alex Jones video, which was awesome. That was cool. But I wish it was for a different subject, to be honest with you. I also got to check something here. I shouldn't do this live in the air, but I want to see if I can announce it or not. Give me just a moment. There we go. Okay. Let me reply. 10. Whoops. Okay, so I'm going to be interviewed on One America News on Monday. So I'll keep an eye out for that. Which is I became familiar with them through I guess Jeremy did a video on it, because that's the Oklahoma coach who was wearing that shirt, and he got, raked over the coals for that. But my father-in-law, the day before he died, talked me into doing this interview. So that's why I'm doing it. And I think it'd be cool. I think it'll be cool. Why not? Why the hell not? Oh, it's been a crazy week. Friday Night Tights is going to go on as usual tomorrow. Everything's going to be fine. As far as the family is concerned, we're doing pretty good. All things considered, there's a lot of stuff to be handled. And yesterday, I'll be honest with you, I just wasn't feeling doing a live stream. So I'm doing it today, which is good. It's good to get back to work because it's fun. Let's talk about, again, let's go to Bounding. And again, I want to express my gratitude for Bounding Into Comics. They get a lot of shit, but they're a site that really, I was asking for this before I had found them many moons ago. I was noticing that the Access media tends to just echo each other They put up the same listicles. They say the same things. You know, if a website just took a centrist point of view, they would probably do a lot better. Now, it's hard for websites these days, I know, because the access media has destroyed themselves and the mainstream media has destroyed themselves. And a great example would be the movie theaters, right? So a lot of us have been talking about, hey, I don't think the movie theaters are going to survive. And I was talking about this with the comic shops. I'm like, well, you know, if they're not able to open, I don't think they can make money. I know it takes a genius to figure this out. But with the announcement of Wonder Woman going to, I mean, when I put, that wasn't hyperbole when I put that on my title. Hollywood is shocked that Wonder Woman is going to streaming. They are, the Hollywood media is genuinely surprised. They thought that Hollywood would be able to sit on these blockbusters forever. And what they were doing was gambling with our money. And I think they're starting to realize that a bailout ain't going to help them very much. It might help some of the bigger companies stop the bleeding. And believe me, any bailout, it's only going to benefit billion-dollar corporations. It's not going to benefit you. It's not going to benefit me. It wasn't that long ago. We went through the Great Recession. And who got bailed out? The banks. So they could lend us more money and charge us more interest. Now, we do need banks, but I'm a firm believer in being allowed to fail because I think other banks would come in and pick up the slack. And that's what the free market does. And Hollywood most definitely does not deserve a bailout. It sucks that the theaters were shut down. They were shut down by the state. They had their PPP money too. But what a lot of people are starting to realize now is that PPP money does not go a long way. And basically that was your time to decide, do I want to stay in business, or do I want to gamble my entire future on the possibility that we won't lock down again? This is why Melissa was smart enough to pull the trigger when she did. It was a hard decision, but she saw what was going to happen. And when you're a business owner, and hopefully when you're running a giant billion-dollar corporation, you're looking 1 or 2 or 3 steps ahead. Hollywood does not do that, by the way. It's obvious. But Melissa had to make a tough decision because our entire family's future was at stake. Were we going to burn through all our savings, get ourselves in massive debt on the hopes that Gavin Newsom won't play partisan politics or take the safe route, which is essentially what he's doing, and not open the state back up? There's a reason this is going down on party lines, because it is partisan. And somewhere in the middle is the right thing to do, I believe. Shutting down the economy is not the right thing to do. It's the cowardly thing to do. And that's what a lot of the governors are doing because they want to be reelected. They don't give a shit about the people or the small businesses. We're losing a business a day at this point, somewhere around there. And now these businesses who ran out of PPP money are going to be massively in debt. So the theaters are massively in debt. And what we have now is major studios who are massively in debt. Disney has got crazy debt because of Fox and what they have into their streaming service, which will not be profitable for 5 years. AT&T is the number I showed in my video was from late last year, but I don't think it's changed very much. $150 billion in debt. That's not a functioning company. And what I said in my video was this company was trying to buy its way out of extinction, meaning like a lot of the stuff they owned was 20th century business models. They were dying out, including DirecTV, the satellite TV. I think I said cable in the video. I shot it fast. Whatever, cable, satellite. And CBS Viacom. They own a bunch of cable television stations. So what? Those are worthless at this time. Absolutely worthless. You have your content, but if nobody really cares about your content anymore, it's still worthless. And you're going to see probably some of these companies have to sell these properties off, and it's going to be a big mess. It's going to be a big mess. And the biggest mess of all could be AT&T and Disney. And Netflix and Amazon are just waiting. And then Apple too. They got a bunch of liquid. So this is why they screw people over like this. Disney attempts to withhold royalty payments from veteran Star Wars author Alan Dean Foster as Science Fiction Writers Association, I believe, sparks hashtag Disney must pay. It appears that Disney's terrifying control over the Star Wars franchise is continuing, as the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of America have made public an attempt by the global entertainment conglomerate to withhold rightfully owed royalties to Alan Dean Foster, the veteran Star Wars author responsible for penning some of the franchise's most important novels. Of course, the original Star Wars, which had George Lucas's name on it. According to the recent statement published by the SFWA President Mary Robinette Cowell, Foster first approached the Guild in 2019 with an issue regarding a payment dispute, claiming that he had written novels and was not being paid the royalties that were specified in his contract. Though she notes that as part of our negotiation toolbox, we guarantee anonymity for both writer and publisher if the grievance is resolved. Due to the extenuating circumstances of this particular case, Cowell revealed that the party causing issues for Foster was none other than the House of Mouse. Look at that beautiful cover right there. Look at that. Foster's work would ring familiar amongst many Star Wars fans, as the seasonable author is responsible for some of the most important milestone novels throughout the franchise's history, including the novelization of both Star Wars A New Hope, Ghost written as George Lucas himself, and Star Wars The Force Awakens, the first entry in the original Star Wars Extended Universe, Splinter of the Mind's Eye, and The Approaching Storm, the first title to take place in the Republic era. Aside from his work on Star Wars, Foster has also written the novelizations of other various films, including the entirety of the Alien and Transformer movie series, and he produced an impressive original works, including his long-running Pip and Flinks series. Now, I'm not familiar with that, but I read that. Dan O'Bannon. When you purchased Lucasfilm, you acquired the rights to some of these books I wrote, he explained Foster in a statement addressed to Disney. Star Wars, the novelization of the very first film, Splinter of the Mind's Eye, the first sequel novel. You owe me royalties on these books. You stopped paying them. Foster's Star Wars novels are not the only books for which Disney is withholding royalties, as the author notes that when you purchased 20th Century Fox, you eventually acquired the rights to other books I had written, which include the novelizations Alien, Aliens, and Alien 3, a trio of novels for which Foster claims they never paid royalties or even issued royalty statements for them. Well, why would they? They don't feel like they owe you. All of these books are still very much in print. Foster pointed out they still earn money for you. When one company buys another, they acquire its liabilities as well as its assets. You're certainly reaping the benefits of the assets. I'd very much like my minuscule, though not small to me, share. The author also claims that the company wanted him to sign an NDA before even talking. Oh, no. With Foster claiming that never once did anyone ever ask me to sign one prior to negotiations, and asserting that it was done for the obvious reason that once you sign, you can no longer talk about the matter at hand. Oh, especially when you sign an NDA and they go, listen, buddy, you're screwed. And now you can't talk about it. I know this I know this is what gargantuan corporations often do, he admitted. Ignore requests and inquiries, hoping the petitioner will simply go away or possibly die. But I'm still here, and I am still entitled to what you owe me, including not being ignored. Just because I'm only one lone writer, how many other writers and artists out there are you similarly ignoring? Look at that. My God. Love that cover. For three, I won't say three because we started getting photos early, but we'll say for a year and a half. And it was agonizing because I was 8. So a year and a half feels like you're 10. This was pretty much the only new Star Wars we could look at, this cover. And of course it didn't turn out to be the sequel, but didn't matter. It was brilliant. I can tell you what grocery store I bought that in. Alpha Beta grocery store in Encinitas, California on El Camino Real. To further complicate matters, Foster then reveals how both his wife has serious medical issues, and in 2016, I was diagnosed with an advanced form of cancer. We could use the money, no charity, just what I'm owed. I've always loved Disney, the films, the parks, growing up with the Disneyland TV show. I don't think Uncle Walt would approve of how you are currently treating me. Maybe someone in the right position just hasn't received the word. Though after all of these months of ignored requests and queries, that's hard to continence. Then he says, in the words, I wanted to see, he threw Bob Iger's words back at him. I was looking for that. It was pretty good. Oh, here it is right here. Foster then turned the words of Disney CEO Bob Iger against the company, writing that, as a guy named Bob Iger said, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. Well, I think he's doing everything the way he does. Bob Iger, most important thing to him is his pressed pants. Is his pressed pants and his iron shirt and his hair, not a single hair out of place. So this is a vain, narcissistic, up-jumped weatherman who became a CEO without a creative bone in his body, but he's a very shrewd businessman and he knows how to spend money. Yeah, he really does. He also put this corporation in a very bad position by buying Fox and helped Fox News have a great year with their payment, by the way. So basically Disney believes that they do not purchase the liabilities when they purchase the rights, which is utter bullshit. But I mean, we just saw what happened to Anas Abdin. He just got spent out of existence. And then we saw a bunch of people defending the giant billion-dollar corporation when they could have just dealt with the guy. I think the problem is that if CBS knows if they open that can of worms with Alex Kurtzman, there will be a long line of people suing him. And there should be, because the guy's a thief, in my opinion. But, as somebody who is an ex-felon, who's been to prison, hung out with a lot of thieves, I know one when I see one. But it's still my opinion. Fuck the mouse. See, I've never been a fan of Disney. I like Disneyland. I might have gone over this before. I've always been a Warner Brothers guy. Thought the cartoons were better. Never very big on Mickey Mouse. Disneyland was great, but shoot. My wife, she wasn't my wife at the time. She was going to Disneyland with her parents, and she had blue hair, and not like the freaking blue hair idiots that are out there now. This was when it was really punk rock. They wouldn't let her in with her parents. I remember when they had a club there, and I remember when people were getting stabbed in the parking lot. And it was kind of a rough place to be. It was actually more dangerous than Magic Mountain at one point. And actually it was more fun back then. But never been a fan. I don't know. I never got into their animated films. I liked The Black Hole. I liked Tron. That was about it. When they did like Ruthless People, they started Touchstone. I like that stuff. There's John. John's a new papa, by the way. So congratulations, John. It's good. We got John and Odin out there making more toxic males. There's Alan Dean Foster. Looks like a nice guy. I just remember when I went to the sci-fi section at Walden Books, you just see this guy's name everywhere. everywhere. So, I mean, his name is ingrained in my head, along with many others involved with Star Wars when I used to love that brand, when we didn't call things intellectual properties, call people consumers, different time. So there's a hashtag out there, Disney must pay. Please, retweet it. It's been going for quite some time, but that's incredibly fucked up. And remember, these are the people who want to take responsibility and support BLM and causes, and they think inclusivity and diversity makes us better people and helps us tell better stories. These are the faceless, soulless corporations that have politicians in their pocket, so they can write certain laws that benefit the faceless, soulless corporations that care about us so much. I feel the love from here. I really do. And I know you do too. So, Mikey Gussler. By the way, Mikey, Snyder Cut fan, what'd you think of that trailer? Now, I saw the trailer, and I might be ignorant. I'm talking about Zack Snyder's trailer for. Was there anything new in there? I didn't see anything new in there. I don't feel like I just saw. I liked it. I liked it the first time I saw it, and I liked it this time. Maybe there was some new footage that I didn't catch, Mikey, but I thought it was pretty good. I am looking forward to that. I am. Mikey Gussler for $5. Cuties is on a 5-pack list of French films considered for being nominated for Best International Film at the Oscars. I'm surprised they'll put it on Best Picture. They will put that baby on Best Picture. Trust me. Mikey Gussler for $5. John Campia said Last of Us 2 is the greatest achievement of video game storytelling of all time. Another reason why not to listen to Campia. John Campia has very similar opinions to like Jarbo and stuff. And like, I think there's just people out there with I'll be nice and say different taste. I mean, because I don't think I have the best taste in the world. I don't walk around. I think it's decent, but of course I do, because I'm not a very good judge of myself on that one. I just don't think he's got very good takes. Yeah, I agree with you, Mikey. Based on what I heard out of The Last of Us Part 2, it sounds very similar to, it is very similar to what happened to Doctor Who, what happened to Star Trek, specifically what happened to Doctor Who in Star Wars, which was taking your male character and beating him over the head with a golf club for intersectional feminism, and having a woman who they had to put a man's body on to do that. It wasn't subtle. It wasn't subtle. Mikey Gussler, thank you again for $10. Did you see Zack Snyder EFAP'd his own trailer for the Snyder Cut? I like the black and white filter, and it might be released in IMAX. Also, Snyder already has plans for Justice League 2. Thoughts? I would love to see Justice League 2. Absolutely love it. And I would go watch it in an IMAX theater. Be great. I'm looking forward to it. I can't say like I'm a fan of the movies. I am a fan of parts of those movies. I think the best out of the lot, the one I watch the most, is Man of Steel. I know everybody loves Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman's okay. I don't think it's bad. It's got a terrible third act. But I do think, as I said in my video, the next one was going to flop. If it was going to come out in the theaters, it would have flopped because it's Orange Man bad. I wonder if that's why they rushed it out. Well, no, they rushed it out because they need money. AT&T's needs money now. They need content on HBO Max. And quite frankly, it was the smartest move to get the most money. It completely screws over movie theaters, and they don't care. They did that same day and date release to appease the movie theaters, but it was all for optics. Average Political Joe for £5. Hey, Gary, this question will be sent over 3 super chats. I am at the university and have a project about how people interact with history. That's number one for £5. Number two, I was hoping you would consider doing a 20 to 30-minute interview to talk about how history has impacted the comic book industry. Sent details to your email. Number three, P.S. As part of the project, you could share a poll I've made. Would you be able to share it in this chat? The link is in the email. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, I'll take a quick look at it. Sure. Thank you for the £15. I appreciate it. Give me just a moment, and I'll go over there, and I will get that. If I can do it quickly, I might have to chip away at it. When did you send it? I don't know. Lady Gravemaster, if you're out there, could you DM me that in Twitter? I'll get it out there, Average Joe. Yeah, I'll do an interview. Sure. We'll figure out a day. Sounds fun. Mikey Gussler for $5. Also, we got a new look at Deathstroke in the Snyder Cut. Looks better than the white hairspray we got in Justice League. I didn't see that. I must have missed that. I thought he looked good as Deathstroke. It's too bad we don't have a 1/6 scale for that. Mikey Gussler for $5. Last one. Midnight's Edge thinks Black Widow will be released on Disney Plus the same way Mulan was, but with a $50 price tag. Think this will be the case? I wouldn't argue with that. Why not? Try. If it doesn't work with Black Widow, you just lower the price and go, sorry. I would try. I would not pay $50 for Black Widow. I won't. I absolutely won't. And if I'm late to review it, oh well. I ain't paying $50 for that movie. I wouldn't have paid that much in the theater. My family, we had a tradition when we lived in San Francisco. We have a friend of mine named Tim, and his girlfriend would go with my family. All of us would go, and we would go to every Marvel movie or every DC, but it was mostly every Marvel movie. So we saw the last 10 Marvel movies with Tim and Kelly. And we saw Endgame with them. And we weren't going to see Black Widow. We were like, nah, we're going to skip it. This is before all this shit went down. Remember with Wonder Woman could have been released. It was November 1st, 2019. Nobody was locked down until like March. So they could have released the film and they decided not to. And I believe they did some reshoots. All the signs point to a flop to me. I hope I'm wrong. What a weasel. Cali's pencil neck governor is. Shake my head, says Mutated Gene Gnome for $2. Complete weasel. That apology actually made things worse. And I could pull up a menu. Of the French Laundry. Hang on. Let's do that. Okay, the French Laundry is a Thomas Keller restaurant group. By the way, again, Gavin Newsom is too poor to go there. You cannot just roll up on this restaurant and have a meal. You make reservations months in advance. You have to be like Melissa's client, Tatiana, who's a former Russian supermodel. You have to be somebody like that. But here we go. This is the French Laundry. This is where our politicians are going. Menus and stories. Wine and spirits. Here. Chef's tasting menu. Oh, no prices. I wonder why. Because the cheapest plate on this testing menu is $850. You get white truffle and garden pumpkin soup, oysters and pearls, hen egg custard, tout el artichoke, whatever. Dungeness crab salad. Well, they can probably get Dungeness crab. Most of it you can't catch nowadays. because of the hippies. Sautéed filet of Japanese Bellinoise Maidai. I don't even know what that is. I can't even read this menu, and I can't afford it. Wolf Ranch white quail. Salisbury steak. Oh, they got Salisbury steak. Hey, they serve that in prison. I wonder if it's the same. Brillat Savrin Panna Cotta. Oysters and pearls. Sounds kinky. Yeah, so the cheapest plate on this menu is $850. And I'm betting Gavin didn't pay for that out of his own pocket. Just a thought. And let's see what the reservations look like. Yountville, fine dining with $4 signs. Prepaid reservations for parties 1 to 7, $350 per person and add-ons. White truffle caviar dinner. Prepaid reservation for parties 1 to 12, $1,200 per person. Oh, you get a Chase exclusive experience, outside dining room. Prepaid reservation for of 2, $350 per person. New Year's Eve, $800 per person, $450 per person for the boardroom. In the courtyard, it's $450 per person. Oh, let's shit. I'll do my meetup there. That's for the tops, folks, not for you and me. Mark C for $10. Gary, apologies. I have the piece of art I drew for you, a bag and a bag of local coffee. Since you use your PO box, the cheapest I could send is $75. But can but I can promise I will find a way to ship. That is no, don't ship it for $75, Mark. We'll figure something out, man. Yeah, that's a lot. We'll figure something out. Email me. Thank you. Yeah, please don't do that. But I appreciate you, Mark C. Nicky D for $5. Gary, why is Marvel so inexplicably fascinated with Captain Marvel? Her books don't sell, and Brie Larson is divisive at best. Yes, I guess that's a good. This is art in a Marvel comic. Yeah. This is, well, you get what you pay for. And this is what you get when you have intersectionalism running your company. I believe our good friend Josiah did a video on this. I'm going to put the audio in Friday Night Tights. I'm working on a video. I don't know if I'm going to share the information on Friday Night Tights or not, but I found a smoking gun for all the wokeness in Hollywood, in particular with Star Trek. I found a smoking gun. Now, this smoking gun is out there for anybody to find, but I'm going to keep it to myself a little bit. The person who did find it will get full credit, but that person has a very different perspective on it than I do. I believe it was last week on Friday Night Tights, I said, I don't think there's one puppet master in Hollywood. I think they just got rid of all the dissenting voice and all the discourse to the point where the moderate Democrats are starting to really genuinely worry. And you saw that come out with Bill Maher last week after the election, after dumping on the orange man a little bit. He took the Democrats to task and he called them out for wanting to defund the police, for rooting on rioting and looting, and for supporting cancel culture, and recognizing that a lot of people, I would say the vast majority of people, associate that party with SJWism. But the thing is, what Bill didn't mention is he was part of that. You allowed that to happen. You didn't call it, you call it out now. It's really safe to call it out now, but you should have called it out 4 years ago. And I know, like, Bill Maher's not my favorite person in the world, but he'll occasionally call out Hollywood. And I do appreciate that. And I think it's a little too late because as I predicted, you're going to get some people. See, there's going to be some people who want to double and triple down, and some people are going to go, oh shit, we actually need as many customers as possible. And we have just alienated half of them for 4 years, and they're not coming back. This isn't like previous elections. This isn't like a cycle. This isn't like anything we've ever seen before. These people are not coming back unless you put 4 years into making things better, genuinely making things better, which they won't do. It's the same for recovery. You know, if you do drugs all your life, 10 years, 15 years, you don't just get better in 30 days. That's a lifetime of trying to get better. You feel better like within a year, but up here takes a lifetime worth of work. Still worth it because it's better than being miserable. But the same thing goes for, I don't know, calling people Yahtzees and ists and phobes. And listen, I saw that video. I know some of you were talking about that video that came out, which I guess we'll talk about. I'm going to kind of say most of it Friday Night Tights. Jeremy did a video on it, but it's about white supremacy. Quarter Black Garrett tweeted about it. So if you're curious about it, you can go to his Twitter account. It's probably one of the most racist things I've seen on this platform. But we have to remember free speech is free speech. And this is why you need free speech. You need free speech to know everything that's going on. And when people feel free to say that much vile stuff, and it's vile. But back to this. Sorry. So Captain Marvel says to lose the men in new comic book. So let's just take a look at this schnoz right here. Ethan tweeted this. Okay. Let's start with the eyebrow that's up. I don't know if you're catching that because it probably looks like to you that she's got a lopsided face, and she does. But the artist is actually trying to show her being sassy with one eyebrow up, you know. Pretty sure you can keep the foam and lose the men, just so you know. Well, for one, she looks like Adam Driver with that schnoz and that mouth. And this is some of the worst art I've ever seen. It doesn't look finished. This was signed off on, and this was in a comic book that I'm guessing the price was $4.99. They wanted you to pay almost $5, $5 for this shit. Marvel is dead. This is it. This is the end. What I was talking about earlier on when I was talking about Access Media and how they lost their way. A lot of YouTubers, including yours truly, we're talking about how much trouble the comic industry is going to be in if they continue down this road. Just like we said, the movie theaters are going to be in big trouble and they're going to close and Hollywood's going to be fucked. Hollywood and the comic book industry both could have prevented this. But the problem is, this is what happens when you are just one-sided on everything. When you adhere to an ideology as a business, which gives you a huge blind side, a massive blind side. So when Wonder Woman goes to streaming, the Access Media is genuinely surprised because for the most part, they think they're moderates and they think they're right. And they pretty much dismiss all of us here, which is fine. Dismiss us. We're not right about everything, but we've been right about this shit. The end was coming. The end was nigh. You could have fixed it. We were offering suggestions and we were just being called ists and phobes and Yahtzees instead of actually hearing us. When we criticize Star Wars, this comic book, when I criticize this comic book, it's Marvel, you're better than this. I would love to continue giving you money, but your hiring practices and quite frankly, your art sucks. It's a very simple formula to get me to come back as a customer. Stop attacking customers, don't hire Zoe Quinn, and give me better art than this. It's not complicated. It's not complicated, but it is for them, because if they did these things, which they know would be in their best interest, it would be looked like to people like Remfamous that they're appeasing us. Yes, you want to appease the customer. You're not in a war or a battle with the customer. And that's when you lose. I'm bummed I'm not buying new comics, but, I'll survive. I'll get over it. I'll buy old comics or not buy any at all. But holy shit, this is bad. Oh my God. Here we go. So it says, here we go. It was thought Marvel Comics couldn't get to new lows, but apparently they have. As checkout a page featuring Captain Marvel from the recently released Marvel's Voices, Indigenous Voices comic book. I first saw the panel on Ethan Van Sciver's Twitter, who posted the pic and made mention of the following DC Comics closing. It looks as if Marvel could be next. The art features the main hero of the book, Echo, getting attacked by a bunch of men who were where her phone breaks, and Captain Marvel shows up and says, "Pretty sure you can keep the phone and lose the men, just so you know." Regarding the closing down of DC Comics, Ethan Van Sciver pointed out its destruction came at the hands of SJWs and the same sort of people responsible for the Marvel Voices, Indigenous Voices. For one, what a dumb title. Marvel's Voices, Indigenous Voices. Why don't you just do Marvel's Indigenous Voices? You can't even get the title right. As noted by Twitter users, it was actually thought the art was fan art, as it looks so bad and comes across even worse, but it's straight out of Marvel Comics. Here's the context. Oh, that's even better. Marvel Voices, Indigenous Voices, Captain Marvel, Echo art. And apparently Daredevil is worried about Echo, and he goes, "I know you don't want to hear from me, but we should talk. I'm worried. Listen, kid, I'm not the one to give advice, but Maya, you have to face me someday. Hey, sexy." I don't know what they're trying to say is like all men offering advice to women is bad. That's a great message to send. Intersectionalism, by the way, that's intersectionalism, which is a word that I mention a lot. That is what is infecting all of our entertainment. And there is, just to get back on my thought earlier, there is a political motivation. I know. Everybody knows that. It's not like it's a idea. We all know. But found some documentation. And the funding behind it, and the funding and the people involved in the funding, and it's all the usual suspects. So what this is a bunch of woke, mostly white SJWs patting Native Americans on the head. They're there. Do you like bows and arrows? Do you like headbands? Do you like long flowing hair? We've got it all for you. So this is an NPR pandering bullshit for people who don't read comics, but for people that do read comics. It's it's really not that happy. So over the last couple of years, I gave like 3,000 warnings to the mainstream comic book industry about how they were destroying their own industry. And I can't say they ignored it because they noted it, targeted those criticisms for destruction, and that did the opposite of what I was advising them to do, not to do, which was to basically stop them from destroying themselves. Your boy Zach points out how DC Comics is selling less and less comics, and that Marvel will as well, and offers a review of the book. This awful, just horrendously bad, says the reviewer. And one of the things that was really annoying is how hateful Marvel is. Marvel, a lot of their pros, has spent years castigating the fans as bigots and discriminators of all kinds. And his book is nothing but hatred of the others for being parts of groups. And that's what we get. That video that Quarter Black Garrett shared that I was referring to, the response to cuties and stuff, hate. It's unadulterated hate. Healthy people don't go on Twitter and go through Gina Carano's, her feed and look for tweets that she liked. Healthy people don't do that. And I brought that up in another stream. And that woman was a mother, by the way. That's the true pandemic right now, is this weird insecurity, needing to see yourself in everything. It's the bigotry of low expectations and narcissism by proxy. It's a bad combination. And it's ruining art because a lot of artists are insecure anyway. And they are free. They were kept in check by editors, shame by their peers. Now we're told that you can, wear your disabilities, or not disabilities, or what you perceive as mental disabilities with pride in your freaking bio. I mean, I am a grateful recovering alcoholic. I'm not proud to be one. I wish I wasn't. I wish I could have half a beer and not think about it, and not had to have gone through what I fucking did in my life to get where I am. I'm glad I'm here, but honestly, it would have been a lot easier if I didn't have that bad brain chemistry and all the other combination of things that made me an alcoholic. It's not anything I'm proud of. Not at all. It's something that's part of me, but I don't completely identify as that either. It's a need for meaning. There's so many people who just lack that in their lives because, you've heard the same old arguments that they were told they were special, or these are products of daycare, whatever. I think it's a multiple combinations of things. Not a lot of fathers involved, or, bad fathers, bad mothers, a lot of combinations of stuff. But it's a lot of people who thought they were going to be not everybody is going to be a star. Not everybody is going to get to do what we want to do. For the most of my life, I wasn't doing what I wanted to do, but I was very happy because I was brought down so much that it taught me to be grateful. And so my little parts job that I had when I was in my 20s, and I thought that's what I was going to do the rest of my life, I was completely okay with it. I was like, this is fine, because I didn't think I was going to be able to do this. But now, a bunch of kids going to school. We're talking about forgiving college debt. Okay, so when you forgive college debt, it still gets paid for, right? It's not like they're just erasing it off the books. No, I get to pay for your college debt. I get to pay for your bad decisions. No. Is it a scam? Yeah, you should recognize that. You should recognize that. Universities are a scam. They're scamming their athletes because they should be paying them because they bring in billions of dollars, and they're scamming their students by giving them, courses that are unnecessary in life. Then honestly, going to trade school would, Carrie Smith talked about this. I was so happy when she said this. Go to trade school. You'll be, especially now, especially now. They're going to need labor. They're going to need mechanics. They're going to need engineers, and that shit pays big time. So you go work as an engineer or mechanic for 20 years, then you can retire the rest of your life. And you don't have to work 30, 40 years. You can just work 20. If you save your money, it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. So if you're young, trade school. I wouldn't waste your time with going to university unless you're going to actually be a doctor or a lawyer. But what happens is they just churn out more teachers, and it's just the system. It's so broken. And the only thing any government can think to do is throw more money at it. Well, the reason our kids aren't in school in this state is the teachers union. It's a very powerful union. It's a union that protects diddlers. So it's not a union that I like very much. I guess it was necessary at one time, but unions, I don't know a union was started for like an oppressive boss back in the industrial age. The state of California treats their teachers pretty well. They're always complaining about not having enough this, not having enough that. Well, they're always complaining, although they get entire summers off. I know there's some good teachers out there. There's also tenure, which I think is crap. But right now the kids are just on Zoom and they're getting amazing grades, and I don't know how. I honestly don't know how. I'm happy. I was actually really surprised. My kid came back with his report card and it was like really good. I'm like, really? I know I suck, but I was like, oh shit. Well, it's way better than mine. But yeah, it all stems to, this comes from the participation trophy generation. And this doesn't sell. This isn't going to work. This isn't viable. This isn't sustainable. So when Marvel Comics falls within the next year, because it'll be about a year, Disney's going to be quiet about it. See, Disney, the same thing, what's going on at AT&T is going on at Disney. AT&T, admittedly, doesn't give a fuck that they might look bad if they cut 30,000 employees and fire DC, because they need money. They need money now. They're a business. And they said nothing is sacred. Bob Iger really cares what Disney looks like. Oh, believe me, he's heard about Alan Dean Foster, and it pisses him off. But they can't pay Alan Dean Foster, because they do. They're going to have to pay everybody else they screwed over. So they're going to try to kick this can down the road, and they'll probably come to some, compromise that will benefit Disney. But the same thing is going on behind the scenes at Marvel. You're going to see issues reduced. I went and looked. I can go look again. I keep an eye on comic shop owners' Facebooks, because they tend to spurg quite a bit. They're pretty upset about DC. But that seems to be about it. Well, that's a good article to go over. And CNN is for sale. Let's see if we can look at this. I'm going to go over this article and see if there's anything interesting in it. There's lots of industry talk. I'll go over it and talk about it another time. This is Brian Hibbs, the guy who bought my shop, does a blog called Tilting at Windmills. He actually wrote a book on it. There's a lot of good retailer advice in this, but it comes from his perspective. One quote is, "There's been a lot of changes, and none of them have any meaningful benefit to the average working retailer." No, the average working retailer, Brian, had plenty of time to work with other average working retailers to fix this shit. You had the ear of people at Diamond and DC and Marvel. And guess what? When the chips were down, you know what they did? They ran. DC is left with an even worse potential shutdown bottleneck. At least Diamond had more than one warehouse. Lunar DSBS only has one that I can see. He's complaining about DC's distribution. Digital comics are economically a joke and not even particularly funny one at that. So he's worried that DC is going to be going full digital, which I believe is correct. Ethan Van Sciver reported a rumor saying in June of 2021, DC is going to cease publication of pamphlets. That would be the end of the comic book, by the way. Let's see if he talks about digital here. I mean, this is long. That's why I don't want to get into it. On August 10th, on August 10th, the first wave of DC layoffs happened with something like a third of their editorial team, including editor-in-chief Bob Harris, being laid off. But more critical from the direct market point of view, the elimination of major DM-related staff, including VP Jim Jim, and Jonah Weiland, and absolute key man Vince Latero. And since that red day, the cut struck again this week, getting rid of Adam Phillips, Stuart Schreck, and Fletcher Chu Fong. As I now understand that Albert Ching has been transferred over to digital, there is likely no one I've ever met other than Nancy Spears who now has any interference or interaction with the direct market. Well, this is what happens when there was so much cronyism in comic books. The same people were stuck there for years. Diamond never really innovated. DC, Marvel, never really innovated because they didn't really have to. Only when they were pushed to the brink, and then they would just throw variants at you and stuff. The industry didn't innovate. The comic book industry is a 20th century model, and I don't think it works anymore, and it sucks. There's plenty of people who want to buy them, but until the comic industry wants to make heroic stories with good art, it's not going to be saved, and they absolutely refuse to do it. They would rather go down in flames. So be it. This might be a reasonable place to mention that from what we can see from Bookscan and Diamond sales data in 2019, the book market sold about 33.4 million of DC material, while the direct market sold approximately 162.8 million, nearly 5 times more material than the bookstores. Okay, that's great. You sold 162.8 million of an entire industry for an entire year. That would be a flop movie. As for digital, well, there's no hard number, but Comic-Con estimates the total of digital all across all publishers in 2019 was about 90 million. I think that's vastly overestimated, to be honest with you. DC shares 30 million. No, I never believe digital. Digital's not the answer with comics at all, like ever. It'll be a revenue stream, but it will never be the revenue stream. The jaw-dropping horror of this, besides a lot of good people, good friends being shown the door in a global pandemic, is the staggering loss of institutional and market knowledge that's being thrown out between Ski and all these people. There's probably 120 years of work and information that's going to be out in the wind. And despite DC's attempt to upjump a mail-order joint into a distributor, that knowledge loss simply can't be made laterally. Yeah. Oh, dang. I didn't even mention that the mere 6 months after starting to distribute DC suddenly dropped out, and he's whining about the distributor because Brian only worries about issues that directly relate to him and his store. A lot of people confuse the fact that he's out for the good of the industry. He's never said that. He's never, ever said that. Brian's perspective is from a very small shop in a really weird American city that's not really like any other American city. And he doesn't even drive. So he has no idea what he called Zach and all the people just alt-right use that lingo. And this was a guy who had power and influence in the industry. Well, now it's a dead one. And this is why. They say that those who do not study history are doomed to repeat it. Right, Brian? So we need to go back 25 years to 1995, where Ron Perlman ran Marvel Entertainment Group, decided to try and vertically integrate and bring distribution in-house by purchasing small regional distributor the year before, and then trying to get Heroes World to nationally distribute all Marvel. Brian, this is nothing like that. In 1995, we were coming out of a slight recession and on our way to a very good economy. The late 90s was a very good economy. And the 90s were kind of roaring towards the end. And Ron Perlman was an idiot. He wanted to bring an actual Panther to Comic-Con at one time. The guy was a moron. Doesn't matter, though. This isn't anything like that. This was a forced shutdown by the state and an exposed Diamond as a distributor. They didn't have liquid to last 2 fucking weeks. The comic industry was over right there and then. And listen, I don't want to make this about me. I felt a little better though. It sucks. But I was like raising my hands in these fucking retail summits were a waste of time. It was nice to hang out with the guys, but they were a waste of time. And I was told I was asking dumb questions. Why doesn't Diamond have a competitor? Like if this is such a great industry, why do we have one distributor? It seems to me just common sense would dictate, logic would dictate that competition would breed innovation. And when I started working at the shop and noticed that they were using, my program was DOS, was fucking DOS. And we're in the 2000s and I was working on a DOS program. Back then there was a lot of distributors because comics used to sell, and a lot of comic distributor warehouses across the country. Diamond and Capital alone had around 20 each, I recall, but removing the Jenga piece of Marvel suddenly made the whole stack collapse, because losing a third of more of their income overnight is hard for any business to survive, and distribution was very shakily financed back then. And it is now. He gets a little long-winded. I don't want to go over this whole thing. Brian thought that all comics should cease publication until every store can open safely. Hollywood tried that with the theaters, and everybody just went out of business. Instead of having only some people go out of business, good thing DC decided to continue working. Unfortunately, the wrong people were working. And things were going in the right direction, folks, until the rioting and looting. And then all the wokeness came back. Everybody thinks 2016 came back. They think they got some kind of mandate or some shit. And they went nuts. Absolutely nuts. And they are going to, that's what ended the industry. It was on a knife's edge before, but that's what tipped it over. However, okay. There's a ton of sales that aren't reflected in those numbers, of course, while it will include TBNs and GNs sold across the Walmart, whatever. Oh, my God. Here's the deal. Graphic novels, they're going to be affected by the pamphlet as well. Once the pamphlet is gone, that's going to have an effect on graphic novels, because then you're just reprinting old shit. And having the direct market be gone is going to affect comics adversely, of course. But, I mean, you can't stop it now. It's unstoppable. You are in a cascade at this point. And he whines about digital. Listen, digital is the future. It's not going to help. I just think they're looking for a cheap way. Right now, AT&T just wants to hang on to their IPs so they can make movies. Isn't it weird, though, that the superhero movie did play a part in killing the comic book? It really did, in a lot of ways. But yeah, I mean, like it's too much to even go over, really. To make it simple, Brian wants the old way back. He wants DC to distribute through Diamond and everything to be all 2019 again. Unfortunately, we won't have that really kick-ass economy that we had before, the one that you refused to acknowledge because you hated the orange man so much that you're willing to burn down your own business because you just hated the orange man. Well, now it's hangover time. I don't know what's going to happen. The courts need to decide. Whoever the president is, you're going to have to deal with the hangover of really rooting on our economy failing. Okay, it did. You won. Oh, and now your business is dying. Nicholas Horton for £5. Jeremy needs to sue Marvel for using his likeness on Captain Marvel. It does look wait, does it look like Jeremy? Did I miss that? I said Adam Driver, but I don't know. You decide in the chat. I mean, I would never talk about Ryan Cannell's mother like that. Just kidding, Jeremy. Bad mistake. What a bad call, Ripley. Bad call, says 200 Watt Studios for $2. Right. Philomax for $5 Australian dollars. Hey, Gary, your latest video tells me one thing very clearly. The BBC lives in an echo chamber and is forcing everyone to listen to them. They are. And the British public, Philomax, bless their heart, is giving them the finger. So much so that they apparently can't keep up with the phone calls with all the licenses being canceled. All right, so now these were missed on Friday, and I do apologize. We're going to go over these right now. I'm going to read them again on Friday, too. More Tolkien in June? Whoa, what? See, God, I got the raging ADD. I can't be. I've got to find. There's too many folders in here. There they go. Sorry, folks. Oh. I can't. These are not singled out now. I guess I can't read them because they're not singled out. Are these going to be singled out? I'll get back to them in a second. Lady Gravemaster, I'm going to send you an email. Okay. Chris Rapasso for 5 Canadian pesos. Speech from Newsom reminds me of my Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Apologies. Regards from Canada. I feel your pain. Oh, I don't know who's worse. I imagine they hang out with each other. Ryan DeLucci for $4.99. We should all break curfew and meet for a party or something. Here is a little something for help for your Doritos run. Cheers, man. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it. I haven't had Doritos in a long time. Brightest Day for $5. Get food, get fueled, get strapped, get safe, stay hydrated, stay humble. We will get through this. We will, and stay hydrated. It's very important to stay hydrated. Absolutely agree. Randomize for $4.99. Hale, I noticed today the BBC iPlayer has some things on there, not from the BBC, noticeably Battlestar Galactica. Anyone would think they would want viewers. They probably bought the rights. They used to play Battlestar on the BBC. I remember going to the UK in 2004, and I saw Battlestar, and I went to Forbidden Planet, right? Should be a great place to get fish and chips right next to it. They had a bunch of Battlestar stuff. So I think they showed it on the BBC. Vigilante Williamson, what's up, man? How's it going? It was nice meeting you in the member stream for $5. Small business is being killed by the governor. 100% employment from the state is the future. Yes. And the business that Gavin Newsom is killing isn't a bunch of white dudes. He is killing Black-owned business, Latino-owned business, female-owned business. Those are the ones actually being hurt the most. And a lot of these people supported the governor. You supported somebody who killed your business. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up to that stuff. Yeah, I get people, wondering, why are you going to a red state? A blue state shut down my wife's business. That's why. A blue state killed my wife's very successful business. Why would I run to another blue state? Give me a good reason. And don't tell me 420 because I don't smoke pot. I don't care. I don't really care. So I would rather have the opportunity to fail on my own. I don't need my government keeping me safe. This isn't... All the blue states have some of the worst. A lot of the blue states have some of the worst numbers. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And the numbers are based on testing and blah and whatever. And are the tests reliable? Well, I thought Elon Musk asked a very good question when he took 4 tests and he got 2 positives and 2 negatives. This is a very rich man and he can afford these tests. And we've heard that a lot. And, maybe it's human error because they were rushed out. Well, I can't imagine what the vaccine's going to be like. Like I said in my video, you first. Talking to the author of that article, not you guys. Mercy Blue, welcome to the proto-molecule level. Thank you. Thank you for the support of the channel. Bird of Prey 5 for $5. I literally rolled up to my window today and yelled out, I'm as mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. No one was around though. Felt good. 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 Oh, man. I feel for you. Damn it, Bird. We'll get through this, though. We're going to get through it. The next 4 years will be interesting. Dolores Ed for $4.99. Hail, Gary. My state curfew starts tonight. I'm sure we will be locked down soon. And I'm even in a red state, too. Yeah. They're coming out with some pretty alarming numbers. The UK was saying they could possibly get 4,000 deaths a day. Well, I looked, and the most they had in one day was almost 600, which is pretty high, but it's a country of 60 million people. So I think it's flu season. So yeah, it's probably going to be worse. But they're not going to stop it. It's out there. So this is the Great Reset. Grandpappy Fist for $2. Hail, happy International Men's Day, Gary. Oh yeah, well thank you, and happy International Men's Day to all of you as well. You manly men. I decided against wearing a skirt today to show my masculinity. I know Harry Styles is, so cool and everything. I've never heard a guy, he sings, right? Does he sing? He's from some boy band. Never heard him. Christopher Malloy for $5. Oh dear, I'm doing a Nerdrotic intro dance. Oh, nice. There's a dance? I need to know these things. What kind of dance? Matthew Thomason for $1.49. Thank you for the phallic unicorn. I do appreciate it. Darth Mick for $2. That art is a realistic drawing of Bree's soul. Ah, that's good. That's good. The Last King of Scotland for $5. The world's so effed right now. It feels like we need a great reset or something. Oh, by the way, have you reached out to Dave Cullen yet for a live stream? I got to email him again. He wanted to do one and then things happened. But yeah, I'll reach out to him. My email's is a bloody mess right now. It's a bloody mess. Critical Ramblings for $5. Hail, Gary. Been watching the 90s Batman animated series on Blu-ray and loving it. Yes, that is a good purchase, and that is absolute recommended viewing. And watch that over and over again. Now, Primal's the shit. Primal is the best thing on TV right now. By far. Better than the fucking Mandalorian. Better than everything. Primal. I finally watched it. Holy shit. It's great. Imperial Lumpia for $10. Hail, Gary. Hope you and the rest of your family are doing okay. We're doing okay. My deepest condolences for your loss. Thank you very much. I'm here for you if you need to talk. I'm forming my own Cal exit myself. Good. Looks like San Antonio for me. The outskirts of San Antonio looks that way for me. I don't know. I don't want to live in the city proper, but the outskirts look good. Here we go. We got Cedric Taylor 08 for $5 says, come to Texas. We got room. I'm coming. Oh yeah. And again, it might be sooner than we think. I was going to wait like a year, but it might be a little sooner if we can dump our house. Critical Ramblings. Welcome to the Jaloja level, my friend. You get a member stream. Hopefully tonight. Yeah, it's supposed to be tonight. It's going to be late, but it's for Australians. So if you're up late, there'll be a member stream. Gilliam Quantal for 5. If I screwed up your name, I'm sorry. For 5 Canadian pesos. Don't you dare say pesos, LOL. Canadian pesos. I'm sorry. Canadian rubles. Andre Fernandez, have some pesos. Thanks for the suggestion. I'm watching Silicon Valley, really enjoying it, but are we ruled by these weirdo types? Really? Yes. For 50 Argentinian pesos, Andre, watch most specifically season 1 of Silicon Valley. It's on HBO Max, but if you need to go to Tortuga or wherever or get it on Amazon Prime and rent it, do it. If you haven't seen it, it's Mike Judge. So it's the guy who did Office Space. It's very much in that tone, and it's a satire of Silicon Valley. But the thing is, it is incredibly accurate, like insanely accurate as far as mannerisms, how people treat each other, how they, how much money is floating around there, and how inexplicable that town is. Palo Alto, California is in parts of it are straight up like East Palo Alto it's hard down there. But Palo Alto proper is one of the most unremarkable suburbs you've ever seen. It's not really nice. It's not terrible. It's just unremarkable. And the richest people, or some of the richest people in the world, live there. And the most powerful companies are there. Twitter's considered a powerful company. Twitter is small potatoes compared to everything there. And it's a show about an incubator. So they have a bunch of programmers renting a house from a guy. And the whole deal is, if one of them comes up with an idea, then they all start working together, and then they can pitch the idea to like Google or something and get it purchased. Well, this guy comes up with Pied Piper, and it's a music search program. The logo's terrible. The idea is kind of terrible, but he designed this compression that's insanely fast, and you can compress and send huge media files quickly. And all of a sudden there's like a bidding war between two tech giants for this one guy's, technology. And he's he's supposed to be your regular nerd. He's a Michael Cera type, and it really works. It's funny. It's funny as hell. The first season, one guy got Me Too'd off the show in season 3, and one of the CEOs in it, the actor died in real life. And he was one of the best parts of the show. So I highly recommend season 1. If you want to go, season 2 is pretty damn good too. But the first season's great. I wonder if Oogly Captain Marvel is an attempt to make Captain Marvel look more like Brie Larson. After all, Kevin Feige is the CCO of Marvel Comics. Phoenix Tangent for $5. You are correct. And let's not forget that the CCO of Marvel Comics is Kevin Feige. He has some say. He is responsible for that shite that we just saw. Southeastern Kaiju. Holly woke gonna build back better with our taxes. Yes, they are, Southeastern Kaiju, for $2. They are counting on our money. I don't know exactly how we're going to generate that, seeing that we're not going to work. I imagine I'm going to get dinged pretty hard. And they are not only going for small business here in California, they're going for gig jobs as well. That's why it's really incredible to me that all of the artists and musicians and all of the rebels out there decided to side with Wall Street and big business. But they did because they're dumb. There's no other way to put it. They just don't think ahead. They're just too wrapped up in propaganda and being basically easily manipulated. And they just handed a huge win to the system, which is going to fuck the gig economy. Why do you think they went after Uber? And Uber won because, thankfully, when it comes down to it, people actually like making money. Most people don't want bosses, and they don't want to work for a giant corporation, but that's what they're working for. A super chat just back up here said it. Vigilante Williamson said it. Small businesses being killed off by the government. 100% employment from the state is in the future. A state corporation. It will be a state corporation that we're all working for. I don't ever want to work for somebody again. It's bad enough that I have to answer to Mama Susan once in a while. It looks like with some of the changes. See, when I read terms of service changes, or when a company asks me, after I've been there for 3 years, to write a job description, these are red flags. These are things I recognize. The minute I see them, I don't even need to bother reading them. I do, but I know that I need to start thinking of another place to go because the end is staring me right in the face. YouTube is probably going to do something like raise their percentage of what they keep soon of super chats and everything, and they're just going to arbitrarily do it. Honestly, I don't, and I need to start doing this because they're apparently, YouTube has decided they're going to get rid of our information, like our tax information. So I'm going to have to keep track of it myself, which is fine. I need to do that. But I honestly haven't gone back and checked every video to what I get paid. I don't know. It's a lot of work. But I'm going to start doing that. And there's a lot of signs on the wall that they're going after the gig economy. So they went after Uber. They went after Airbnb before. They're going after apps because they're going after gig workers. And they are going to continue doing that because they can. There's no opposition. Sorry, I got lost there. And it is right. Okay. Scottish Nerd for £5. Hi, Gary. Random Thursday thought. If Dr. Karen regenerates into a chameleon, she can become the new Circuit and no more police box TARDIS. Stay classy. Hey, it doesn't matter anyway. I say get rid of the TARDIS. Fuck it. Make her bisexual. Make her turn into a bisexual amoeba, and she can bisexually amoeba scissor Yaz on the TARDIS without any penises around to get in the way of things. They can rip the police off the police box and turn it into a women's health clinic and fly around and teach us all lessons about intersectionalism. It's not Doctor Who anymore. Andre Fernandez for 50 Argentinian pesos. Have more pesos for coffee. Who could be looking forward to seeing Pedro as an orange man, evil businessman? Not me. Very bad move by DC. Yep. Turning Max Lord, who was a damn good villain in the comic books, from one of the best freaking runs, Justice League from the 80s. And what are they going to do? They turn him into an Orange Man fucking character. It's so short-sighted. And the Zack Snyder fans are going to be insufferable because they have been saying, listen, Patti Smith is getting all this praise. Zack practically made that movie for her. We're about to find out because I have a feeling the Zack fans are going to go, told you, effing told you. They've been saying that a lot lately. They've been right. Mark C for $10. AT&T buying DirecTV was a dumb move in 2015. You are correct, sir. It was short-term gains. It was short-term gain and devastating for their future. And in Uverse, which was building them an internet network for streaming that you don't go through satellite. It was a very dumb move, and it put them in so much debt. And yeah, DirecTV. I had DirecTV for a little while. I didn't mind it when I was watching my football, but then I didn't care. And then I cut the cord so long ago, I can't even remember. I think it was 5 or 6 years ago. I cut the cord. Yeah. Don't miss it at all. I don't miss commercials at all. Jaleel Kawas, what's up, man? For $20. Gary, what up, dog? My condolences to you and your family. Thank you. Thanks for reading me Santa's Husband on Friday Night Tights. Made my night. Hail to you, the chat. Hell yeah. Well, thank you. We're going to do a full reading of Santa's Husband at a later date. It's not very long. But it's gripping. Mud Crab for 10 Australian dollars. Sitting at home because our state went into a snap 6-day circuit break because our leaders panic. Banned from going outside to exercise, even with a mask. On plus side, I am home for live streams. I'm sorry. You're kidding me. They just went, okay, we're locking down for 6 days. You can't go outside to exercise? You can't go outside to exercise. This is what happens when they take away your guns, man. Sorry to hear that. Alan Hanley for $2. Jungle to Jungle remake then? Possibly. Jungle to Jungle. Why does that ring a bell? Oh, it is it came out in 1997 with Tim Allen. Yeah, I never saw it though. Rocky Desert Flower for $4.99. Can there be a better name for this scandal than the French Laundry restaurant? No. Actually, no. You know what's going to be worse? Rocky Desert Flower is this tool is going to get fucking voted back into office. The Tiwi Kid for $4.99. The French Laundry will be Taco Bell in a few years, a la Demolition Man. It might. Oh, if things go the way they go, yeah. It'll be Taco Bell. Now, I got to see Demolition Man. I've been on a Stallone kick since doing the Rocky thing with Critical Drinker. And I think, Melissa and I are going to spend a little time. We're going to watch Buffy, but I want to talk her to watch. I want to see Tango and Cash. I haven't seen Tango and Cash in a long time. I need to see that. Vanya Secundas for $5. That front lawn looks perfect for a tar and feathering station. Oh, at the French Laundry, it does. It does. Nathaniel Larson for $20. Gary, prayers to you and your family. Thank you for the $20. I hope Alex Jones comes on Friday Night Tights. I hope he does too. I want an Alex Jones video game, and I hope to super chat him asking what he would do. Whenever you do Exozone again, I have an email to share. It's going to be next Thursday for sure. I can't tonight. I can't. But as far as Alex Jones is concerned,
I'll eat your ass. I will eat your ass.
Mr. Millennium for $10. Hail, Gary. I showed my SoCal native mom your Cal exit videos, and she loved them. Oh, great. Perfect analysis of how far the state has fallen and why so many lifelong residents, including my family, are done. Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to put into a 10-minute video everything that's wrong with this state. But when you see Gavin Newsom go to this restaurant and then give that shit apology, I mean, like, how the recall effort is on. They have contacted me. I fully support it. I don't know how serious it is, and I don't know what I can do to help it. But I'll try. I mean, yeah. Adam Armstrong for $5. SNES or Sega? Sega. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because that's Sega. That big boy's Sega right there. I'm afraid to turn it on. I haven't turned it on since I got here because I spent so much money on that monitor when it went out. The thing arced. I turned it on like 5 years ago, and this thing arced out the back. This full bolt. I mean, it looked like the side of the Charger helmet. It went on the back and arced, and a little smoke came out, and the whole monitor just fried. So there was this guy I could call up in San Francisco. I call him. His name was Jerry. I'm all, Jerry, I need my game fixed. He's all, okay, I'll be there as soon as I can. So 3 months goes by. That's Jerry. And then he just shows up. I got your monitor. And he puts it in, charges me a lot of money. And it worked last time, but it's been through a move. And I'm just like, oh, I don't even want to deal if that thing doesn't work, because I'm not going to pay to fix it again. I've already sunk a college tuition into that game. Silverman for £2. She looks like a deformed fourth member of Hanson. She really does. She really, really does. Stetson's Gold for £5. Looks like a surfer, James Woods. It does, like current year. Bill Tamp, 73 for $5. The Supreme Court overturned the long-standing rule that movie studios can't own theaters. You are correct. I pointed that out in my video. If the studios bought out AMC, Regal, etc., that would, what would happen? Well, for one, they would get to keep more of their money. So the whole argument is we can do the streaming service and we get to keep all the money. But they could keep all the money and then get all the concessions. And yeah, I there's no downside. You get to keep releasing movies in theaters because nobody, I think they're waiting for somebody else to come in and save them and buy them when they're cheap. That's not going to happen. That's absolutely not going to happen, because by that time that happens, they become a worse bet every day. The only companies that have direct interest in saving movie theaters are the studios. And if the studios laughed at it, how do you think other investors are going to feel? How do you think the theaters felt when those two CEOs from Universal and Warner Brothers laughed? Because, I mean, they could have been cool and said, well, we might be interested in Light or something. No, they just laughed and they devalued the whole fucking industry with a smirky comment. So any investor would be going, well, God, if they're not in a hurry to save them, why should I? It's a 20th century model. It was already going downhill, and the upkeep on these things is going to be huge. Now, rent will probably be cheaper because the economy is going to be shit. But there's going to be a glut of buildings and office space. You're going to see industrial real estate, huge, like its bubble burst. It's going to be massive because so many people can work from home now. It's going to be a bunch of empty buildings and a bunch of people who can't pay property tax, which can't pay schools, which can't pave sidewalks and fix street lights and pay off the mayor's mistress and all that shit. All your little fucking little projects, your 75 homeless projects that don't help a single homeless person, but probably line the pockets of a politician. Yeah, those projects are going to have to go away. There's going to have to be steep tax cuts. Gavin Newsom canceled the tax cuts because he got the money from the federal government. He should have still cut the taxes and cut the pork and kept the federal money, but he can't help himself. So a lot of what you're seeing, a lot of the writing and the woke stuff that's going on is deliberate. Again, and I will show proof of that. But it was also trying to run, trying to show that they're still here because people are going to actually start worrying about real shit now. That's why we're over this 57 gender shit and pronouns. Nobody gives a fuck anymore. I don't give a fuck. And you can call me whatever you want. I don't give a fuck. And Bill Maher, again, called his party out for appeasing SJWs, people who use pronouns, fucking cancel culture, snowflakes. He called all that shit out. And he said, if that doesn't get fixed, the Democrats are going to get screwed. And the classic Democrat needs to take control, or you're going to see your party break into two. Don't know what's going to happen. I'm a centrist. I don't care. I think there should be more parties, but when the extreme is running your party, I mean, fuck. That video that came out today is everything that's wrong with now. Everything. And proof, you know what, in a way that subverts their own expectations, and you have to see the video. Proof that racism does indeed exist, and it's a huge problem in this country, just not from who you think it is. What's the difference between brie and a plank of wood? Wood has character. Oh, where's it? That's the wrong one. Wrong one. There we go. Here, I'll play that one though.
Where's the trigger? Where is it? You never give it to an ordinary citizen.
That's Christian Bale's Batman. Eric K, thank you for the $5. Mongoose McQueen for $2. Gary, have you seen the current Suicide Squad? The current? Like the movie? You mean like the lineup that's going to be in the film? I have not seen the comic book, not the current Suicide Squad. I have lots of the old ones. I like the first 15 minutes of the Ayer movie. I would love to see an Ayer cut. And I think James Gunn's The Suicide Squad is going to be probably the best DC movie. It looks pretty cool. I can't wait to see it. Lavish Patch Kid for $10, but I don't know what you mean by current, Mongoose. Why don't you tell me in the chat? Let me know. Lavish Patch Kid for $10. The everyone gets a trophy generation has now left college and is swarming corporate America. People are hired for everything but talent. Some knew this was going to be the end result. Yes, many did. There was people talking about this before Trump was even thinking about running for president. And I was watching them talk about it. Kevin Stahlcup for $15. Gary, what's so wrong with that Captain Marvel drawing? I think it's a spitting image of Brie Larson and even captures her favorite facial expression. Well, Kevin, you got a point there. For $15, you got a point. Maybe I'm being a little too hard on the artist because that was an accurate representation of Brie Larson's soul. Jacob B for $5. I went to college to get a degree in computer science and made $85,000 out of college. It's not all a scam, just most of it. Jacob B, that's good because you went there going, I want this degree and this is what I want. But what's the percentage of you, Jacob, compared to your average student? I mean, seriously. Because if it's like 10% out of all the people who go to college, that's a scam. It's a scam. But it's great that 1 out of 10, 1 out of 100, 1 out of 25 people gets to do what they want, or at least gets a job that pays great out the gate. That's good. I've been kicked out of 3 high schools, and I had to work my way up, but I ended up, owning my own business and doing this now. My wife, she finished high school early to go to beauty school. She went to a beauty school that was just this cheap little beauty school in Oceanside and, ended up doing very, very well. So, yeah, it depends. But I don't think you need to go to a university where you pay $100,000 a year or $20,000 a year. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Just go to a middle college. I think a lot of people go to major universities for vanity so they can say they went to that university. I went to Yale and Harvard. Oh, great. Awesome. Now that's where the cronyism happens. But yeah, Jacob, That's good. Hack Slash, my favorite comic series, is getting an omnibus on Kickstarter. Oh, that's good. Space Monkey 0899 for $4.99. Sorry, it's on Kickstarter. I would support it if it was on Indiegogo. Memology, ladies and gentlemen, Memology for 75 Honduras dollars. What's up, brother? Hail Captain Marvin, the nose knows, right? Memology. You're a national treasure, and thank you for what you did during. How did this? Oh my God, you had that second hurricane too. I don't even know what happened after that one. But Memology raised some money and fed people out of his truck. That horrible, evil Memology was feeding people. I'm sorry to ruin your reputation, man. But yeah, there's a video on his channel. Go check it out. Cold Winter's Night for $5. I am in a school for welding. There you go. Saw college for what it was and decided to learn a trade. Yep. And you will make, for welding, you'll make $85,000 out of the gate a year too. Probably $100 out of the gate. If you're a mechanic and you know what you're doing, you can make $150 here in California. Wolfsbane for $5. This Captain Marvel comic reminds me of my own art when I first started to learn anatomy. Thanks, I hate it. Says Wolfsbane for $5. Yep. It kind of reminds me of that too. Keeper of the Tracking for mine. Keeper of the Tracking for $1.49. Thank you for the phallic unicorn. I appreciate it. I do. Man, it's awesome. It fires me up. See, Memology's watching. That's a superstar right there. Versified for $9.99. Gel hair Hitler imposed a curfew as he went to a large unmasked gathering. Sheriffs aren't going to enforce it, but neighborhood liberal Karens will. P.S. You should do a collab with the Quartering. I would love to. I love Jeremy. He's been on Friday Night Tights, and we'll probably have him back if he wants to come back. I'm sure he will, though. But the Quartering he's fucking, he's almost at 1 million subs. 1 million subs. I remember when his channel was blowing up right around the same time Jeremy's was. But his hit the stratosphere, man. Andrew Pico for $10. Going to hunker down and play some video games to pass the time. I'm thinking of going back to my favorite franchise, Jack and Daxter. At least Naughty Dog didn't ruin that series, and I'm glad they didn't. Andrew. Yeah, I think our serious lockdown is coming sooner than we think. I didn't check today, but I was hearing something within the next week, maybe. Well, I got to play Witcher 3 then. I've been promising to play that forever. Scott S. for $5. F Disney, destroyer of franchises they are. Yeah, fuck Disney. I'm so sick of Disney. It makes me a little ill to pay them so I can review The Mandalorian, but I promised to finish that, and I do like Gina Carano, so it balances out. And I can't unsub because I think WandaVision's right after that. But once that's done, unsubbed. Francesco A. for £5. I heard even a common flu tests positive. Let's face it, something doesn't add up with the numbers. It doesn't, but you do not dare question that, you science denier. Although science is questioning. Nobody says it doesn't exist. We're questioning motivations of the authoritative sources. Remember, authoritative sources are not our friends. I'm going through here, just making sure. There we go. Hang on, got to refresh. Ooh. There we go. That's better. And if you haven't, by the way, subscribe to Memology. If one of my Modrotics could put the Memology link in the chat, I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks, Keeper of the Tracking, again for the phallic unicorn. Fuck Disney. Yeah, we said that one. And Francisco. Yeah, I'm going to have to go get my first test here pretty soon. We'll see how things go. I feel great. But it's because I have to go somewhere. And we're gonna test before we go to Vegas, which is still on despite all the crazy shit that's going on. It's still on. BJam 727 for $9.99. Dems scorched earth policy to out Trump unleashed the jokers. They assume after the January 20th things will return to normal. Joker to the Batman. There is no going back. You've changed things forever. Yep. Hollywood isn't just going to make this thing okay. And I think they're starting to recognize that. Whether they do something about it, I don't really care at this point. My message to anybody at Hollywood who's watching, a lot of people are really pissed at you. You have a lot of work to do if you want to continue making money. And this couldn't happen at a worse time for you. So don't be surprised if people celebrate your destruction. And these were people who loved you, who loved your movies, bought your action figures, bought your soundtracks, and they were attacked for 4 straight years. The people who paid you. And now you guys might have to learn a trade. And again, there might be some snickering in the background. Don't be surprised. I've been to French Laundry. Dry Creek Kitchen in Healdsburg is better. Meal experience for more than half the price, says default name for $5. I will remember that. Not that I would ever go to French Laundry. But Dry Creek Kitchen in Healdsburg. Healdsburg's a nice town, man. Editor MG Goalie for $10. Have you ever had this happen? Google logged me out and changed my name. Used to be Editor MG. I didn't change it. You can guess what the other part is. Oh, shit. No, it has never happened to me, thankfully. But I regularly change my passwords, and I have lots of protection. I believe in protection for my channel. Ribbed for my channel's pleasure. I think this is in concert effort to erode the middle class as a whole. There will be 2 top 10% and the rest. Yeah, I agree, Chris. Because that assault was on the middle class. Everything is about the middle class. As a matter of fact, in that video today, I heard having fun is a tool of white supremacy. That was an exact quote by one of the people in that video I was referring to. Having fun is a tool of white supremacy because only white people have the luxury of being fun because we can do whatever we want whenever we want to. Not saying we experience the same things, but I hate to break this to you. I don't identify as part of I'm an individual. All right. So I don't, that's not how I roll at all. And I can't do whatever I want whenever I want to. I don't know about you guys, but I can't. Russell Hall for $5. Canada's currency will soon be on par with the peso, but they're really actually called loonies. Think of Trudeau as their leader for a mnemonic device. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you, Russell. Yeah, I say pesos as a joke for all denominations of money, but it's not, well, listen, I remember the Canadian, I thought it was $1. It was stronger than the American dollar for a little while. That was 2008 and in the beginning of the Obama years. Orif for $14.99. Went to law school in San Antonio. Great town. Also, check your Gmail from 527. I gave you my contact if you need some info in some areas. I saved that, and I will. We have some houses we want to look at that are. It's incredible. I mean, like the house I have in San Francisco is the size of a condo. It's the size of a condo, but it's got a backyard. What it can get me in Texas is pretty cool. Battlestar Galactica 2.0 or The Expanse, The Invisible Man for $2. Oh, you're making me choose? Ooh. Right now, Battlestar. I give Battlestar the edge because of Edward James almost as Adama and Colonel Ty, Saul Ty. I think those are like just an unbeatable combo. But I love The Expanse, and it premieres in a little over a month. On lockdown, went out to eat anyways. Screw 'em, says the Invisible Man for $2. Yeah, we did. We walked into a restaurant today. We couldn't eat in there, but it didn't matter. Dolores Ed, welcome to the Geloja level. Thank you. And we've got a member stream tonight. Hardwick Benthau for $2. Please respond to email Wonder Woman 84 plot leak when you can. I'll read it. Did you just send it? You guys want to hear a plot leak? I do. Hang on. Give me just a mo. Oh, stop it. Okay, here we go. All right, this is from Reddit. Take it with a grain of salt. I can't show it to you, but I'll read it to you. Does that sound good? Sound good, people? If you don't want to hear about Wonder Woman 84, plug your ears. I thought you might be interested in this. This was leaked 11 months ago. The DC Fandom trailer from a couple of months ago confirmed some of the details from the leak, and it's almost certainly genuine. If you're interested in reading the plot leak, it can be found at this link. Some highlights. The MacGuffin is a wishing stone that works like the monkey's paw. If you make a wish while touching it, you get your wish. But the stone takes something of its choice from you in return. It was one of the many power stones created by the Greek gods, essentially DCEU knockoffs of the Marvel Infinity Stones. The story is a morality tale in the vein of Rod Serling's The Twilight Zone. Explores the question, what would you be willing to give up, and what depths would you be willing to sink to in order to get everything you want? Diana works at a museum which has recently received the stone. She appears to touch the stone, not knowing its power. While thinking about how she wishes she could have Steve back, this causes Steve to come back alive like Quantum Leap style in another man's body, only Diana sees him as Steve. And he's probably some schlub. Maxwell Lord finds out about the stone, steals it, and wishes that he could become the stone. This causes the stone to disappear and become part of him. From that point onward, anyone who he touches or touches him gets whatever they wish for a time, but he gets whatever he chooses from them in return. Lord is I'm reading this before. I don't want to give everything away, so give me a moment. Has a strained relationship with the song. No way. Lord eventually goes to the White House, touches the president, and gets him to make a wish. And in return for granting the wish, he takes the president's political powers. He uses these political powers to negotiate with foreign leaders so he can get rich on oil money. He creates a border wall. Oh, no. God, that Golden Eagle armor looks terrible. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, sorry I'm all quiet on this one. I don't want to blow the whole thing. It looks pretty cheesy. This is out there. Wonder Woman's going to lose some of her powers, and that's why she's got the Golden Eagle armor, and it looks awful. Utterly awful. But, I mean, this movie should have been out a year ago, 2 weeks ago. Remember, November 1st, 2019, it was supposed to come out. Oh, thanks for dropping this. I don't want to drop everything on here, but there's definitely Orange Man bad stuff in here. That's for sure. We can count on that. Don't think I want to see that. No, it says border wall. It says border wall, CM. I'm not screwing with you. He builds a border wall of some kind. Now, this is Reddit. Somebody could have wrote that and made it up, but I've seen that compared to other things that are in the movie. Some of it looks pretty legit, but we'll see. Dirk Benedict on Friday Night Tights. Yes. Shock 2957 for $9.99. I would definitely have him on. Dirk is was the kind of guy who would get political once in a while. We'll just say that. Russell Hall for $5. Alex Jones feels like what you get if Sam Kinison and Rush Limbaugh fucked and had they screwed and had an abortion that survived to take a bite out of the system and money. Jesus, Russell. Yes. Alex Jones is very Sam Kinison-ish. Default name for $5. Intersectional Marxists' last priority is making a company a profit, and yet those Stanford and Harvard educated executives hire them anyway. Oh, well. Yep. It's the agenda takes priority. You got to admit, they are focused. They are focused, and they have one goal. Samurai, thank you for the $2. Damn it. What video came out today? Go to Quarter Black Garrett's Twitter. The video, he says, this is the most racist thing I've ever seen. If you want to see it. I'm going to play it on Friday Night Tights, but not here. Not here. It is spicy. Google current comic book lineup. New Warriors DC. Says Mongoose McQueen. Google current comic book lineup for New Warriors for DC. Mongoose. I don't know. What do you? Okay. I'll check it out here. I'll check it out. I gotta stop everything. My video comes up and the old New Warriors. Yeah, I Googled it, but maybe that's in response to something I was saying. I don't know. I'm sorry there, Mongoose McQueen. Grem Paltaken for $4.99. You think you'll ever get It's a Gundam on Friday Night Tights? Love your channel. Yes. I do believe he has agreed to come on. Chris P for $4.99. Hail Gary, what's the situation with the Vegas meetup since the Star Trek convention has moved to next year? The current situation is I'm still going, Chris P. The date is the same dates. I'm staying at Planet Hollywood, and people are staying all over town. We're trying to find a venue right now where we can hang out and not get in trouble. Otherwise, we're just going to be walking around the streets of Vegas, which I'm fine with too. John Ogletree for $4.99. I heard for only $175 you can get white truffle shavings on any dish at French Laundry. Hope Governor Gavin Newsom was able to indulge. I hope so too, John. I mean, it's not like he was paying for it. Mr. Bentham for $6.90. You were right about the interview of Gavin and Adam Carolla's podcast. Seeing him squirm was hilarious. I would love to go to Las Vegas, but can't. Sorry, brother. We'll do it again when things are open up-ish again. We'll do it again. And Vegas is not far from me, so I can do it at the drop of a hat. How did I meet my wife? Asked Rocky Desert Flower for $4.99. I met her at high school. And our first real date was at seeing Rocky Horror Picture Show back in the 80s. Terry Presley for $15. Hi, Gary. I'm late to the stream. What's up with the missus, man? She's doing good. She's hanging in there. She's had to do a lot of very tough things. We all have when you have a death in the family. You have to go do the business part of it, which is not fun because you're sitting there grieving and they want you to get statements and all kinds of shit. It's just, it's part of life. Death is part of life. Phoenix Tangent for $5. George R. Martin has been writing and world building for a new Bandai game, Elden Ring. Somehow he keeps getting side work while avoiding his actual job. Are you fucking kidding me? Is that the new post he put up? Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. They talked about House of the Dragon. He's got a bunch of new posts. Hey, these are the two people. I went on a tour with one of those for Veterans Day. Yeah, I'm not surprised he's doing side work. I mean, again, Winds of Winter's not going to get finished now. Fuck it. I will read. I have really dived into Tolkien now, and I am into Tolkien as much as I was earlier and as much as I was into A Song of Ice and Fire. I am ripping it to shreds and loving it. And I could just go back there again and again and again. And it is what? My collector's edition is going to come in late, but I was able to they were sold out on Amazon, the 4K Lord of the Rings Collector's Edition, but they weren't on Walmart, but they're just going to be a little later than the other ones, which is fine. I don't care. Because I'm going to take that really crazy expensive set that they sold that with nothing new in it that they originally sold for $700, and I'm going to turn that into a because I found one super really cheap, so I'm going to turn it into a 4K collector's set, my own. I'm going to make my own shit. Why not? I've got time. At least there's one good show on CBS all ass, MacGyver. Not going to argue. And I bet you more people watch MacGyver than Star Trek Discovery. Remember, Star Trek Discovery at the time, no, Star Trek Picard was called the most watched original show on CBS all ass, which was down half the day today, or I would be reviewing Star Trek Discovery. Let me give you my review so far. A bunch of fat jokes about a cat, especially Tilly making a fat joke. Something's wrong with Emperor Georgiou, and Michael Burnham screwed Booker. And somehow they need to go back to planet Iceland, although it's a different planet, but they're back on Iceland shooting because that's where they did all their exteriors. And they have to get out of some mining colony from the Emerald Syndicate to get some black box so they can find out about the burn. They're basically, I don't know, hunting mother boxes in Star Trek. It's a mystery box. They're literally looking for a mystery box now in Star Trek. Why didn't they just call it the mystery box? Critical Ramblings for $5. Haven't seen The Expanse or Primal yet. Oh, dude. Primal's an easy watch. Like Primal you can watch while you're vacuuming your room or you're paying bills. There's no dialogue. It's Tartakovsky fucking greatness. My condolences to your family. Keep on rocking. Thank you. Thank you. No, when I finally saw Primal, I was like, God, so many people were telling me to watch this. And I'm like, I know why now. I know why. There might be a glimmer of hope, speaking of which, with Venture Brothers. And if we can get them crowdfunded, I think they're going the wrong angle. I think a lot of people want Amazon and Netflix to buy them. Fuck that. Crowdfund it and put it out on your own. Make a DVD or put it on YouTube or something, or make it a pay-per-view or something build a website and make it pay-per-view on that website. I mean, you don't need to give money to anybody. Venture Brothers they can make all their money on their own. They don't need to go through any, they don't need to get saved. Just give us one episode. That's all I want. Just one episode Crazy Cat Guy, thank you for the the super stickers for Bravo and good job. I think for $5 each. I appreciate it. Critical Ramblings, definitely watch The Expanse and Primal. Primal's the shit. All walls are border walls. They built on the border between inside and outside, says G-Man for $5. Yeah, I got walls around my house because I don't want anybody. My rented house, my compound. I got to show you guys my Hobbit room. I have a Hobbit room now. Mrs. Nerdrotic, you want to know why I've got the best wife in the world? She made me a Hobbit room. Like, I don't know what I did to win this shit, but I win. Editor MG Goalie for $10. Would you get Blair White or Joy Villa on? Yes, absolutely. On Friday Night Tights or this show, yes. We're going to start... I'm going to start bringing people on to Nerdrotic Nooner. That's going to be new. And we're going to have, I'm still going to do the solo stuff too, but it'll be more randomized. There will be a chill stream this Saturday at 8:30 p.m. So no politics, no culture war. We're just going to talk about shit we like. Sarah B for $5. Hail, Gary. Does anyone notice how much our current times look like the 80s movie They Live? We need those sunglasses to see the elite's true form. Sarah B, many have pointed that out. You are just the latest. That's good. We need more of you out there, and I'm glad. It's not enough, Sarah. It's not enough. We need more people to recognize that They Live is becoming a true story, along with Demolition Man, and that is fucking bad. Moss Melendez for $5. Have you seen the Greta Thunberg YouTube trailer? I just want to say to YouTube, how dare you? No. Should we watch it? Should we watch it? Hang on. Oh, I mean, she's a kid. All right. So she's a kid being manipulated. It's pretty awful. What's funny is what my kid says about her. And my kid has the same condition and is the same age. And I might bring him on someday with a mask on to so he can say his piece about Greta. Because my kid is the anti-Greta.
Tell us that young people are going to save the world. But there is simply not enough time to wait.
This is old. What's the other trailer? Is there another one? I don't want to get copyright hit for just to hear this. Yeah, there's nothing new. October 12th. I am Greta un Forza del Naturo. Yeah, I don't think that's healthy for her. And what I am mostly concerned about is when she gets older. When she gets older and that attention fades and she gets used up by all the profiteers and corporations that are using her right now to virtue signal, and she's going to feel abandoned, and it's going to be horrible. But she's a child. She's a child with a condition, and her parents are foul. But that's me. What do I know? The corpse formerly known as my ex-wife has joined the Geloja level with Barrick Merck. Welcome. I got to say people. I don't know if you're gentlemen. Rumor HBO Max might bring back Venture Brothers. Great. If they allow them to, that would be smart. I think Venture Brothers could go out on their own and make the most money that way. But if that happens, good. I hope they were still working on it so we don't have to wait another 2 years. Chris from Michigan for $2. Biden, if you have fun, then you ain't black. Problem being for £5. Hey, Gary, could you give the Rabbi Indiegogo campaign a shout out? Hartnell first. Certainly. I got to look at it first, though. The rabbi from another sonnet for granted. The male gaze. Yeah, he sent me one of these books. Oh, wow. He's got for the male gaze. Party like it's 19. Holy shit. All right. So, here we go. Whoops. Didn't want to show that. Hang on. That was the spoilers for the here, we'll just shout it out this way. I usually like to go through my shout outs, but the Imperium and Biblical. This is Svi Lebekin. He's got a channel. And you can check out his Indiegogo here. I'll put it in streaming. Okay, and then I will share it here if I can. Sorry, folks. Load everything to a crawl here. Here we go. So here's the Rabbi from Another Planet Comics Bonanza, the Imperium and Biblical, that two awesome comics in newly revised mind reality bending editions. Hey, problem being, tell Svi to join one of my live streams sometimes. I never see him in the chat. I mean, I'd be happy to shout him out, but he's got to participate too. You know, I haven't seen him in a long time in my chat. So I've had the Reverend on, and I think this stuff is cool. A lot of people ask for shout outs, but like, they got to participate. They participate on this channel. Happy to do it. Happy to do it. But I'd like to see him over here more. That is, there's some male gaze stuff right there. There's some male gaze. There's some good stuff in here. And I've shouted out the Svi a lot, but man, it's been a long time since I've seen him in my chat. Long time, problem being. All right, here we go. Chris from Michigan, thank you again. A leg kick one for $2. Thank you again. Chris Baker for $2. Do you ever see either of the V miniseries? Yes, I've seen them all. The original is the best, Chris. It is classic all-time shit. I remember seeing that as a kid. I was blown away. I loved it. The newer stuff with what's her name from Firefly was shite. Didn't like it. Hail again. Happy International Men's Day. Got to enjoy my favorite dude streamers today. Az and Drinker blowing things up, and you at the nooner. Great day. Hashtag Men Rock. Thank you, Sarah B. We appreciate it. Hey, and thank you for being here. I appreciate, and thank you for your support. Hail, Gary. Sure, it's been nice to be here with you all. It's been nice to have you here too, Arthur Swanson. I'm gonna back out because I've got to go hang out with the wife a little bit. I've got to hang out with the wife, but yeah, I wanted to read those super chats, but they were not singled out for me in a way that I could read them quickly. So I'm going to read them on Friday Night Tights, and I'm sorry I missed them. I made a huge mistake, and I didn't refresh it. And I've got a lot going on, and I'm pretty much engineer, producer, everything. Lady Gravemaster's still training up. She's still got a lot to learn as far as like running the technical aspect of it, and I'm still doing it. And yeah, there's a lot going on, and that's going to take a while because you can't just like pick that shit up overnight. You got to it takes time to learn it. So that's understandable. So the next live stream will be, unless I pop on tonight I'm probably not going to do Star Trek Discovery till, God, I wanted to do it today to be back on time. We'll see. Maybe I'll pop on late tonight to do it because it really sucks. Mandalorian comes in the middle of the night. Then I got Friday Night Tights, so I can do Mandalorian Saturday. So sometime in the next 24 to 48 hours, I will review the new Star Trek Discovery. It sucks. I don't know if anybody's even watching it. At least the Mandalorian's like entertaining. I give it that. I wish I could review Primal, but it would be like he killed a dinosaur. You know, maybe I can find a way to do it. I'm still working on Picard, and it's getting there. It's getting there. But thanks to all the Modrotics. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for everyone who super chatted. Thank you to Lady Grandmaster who produced this episode. Thank you to Perry Chan who produced the. Oh shit! I launched Nerdrotic Daily today. God, I can't believe I didn't talk about that. My head's up my ass right now. Here we go. I will show you the first video that we got 1,000 subs already. That's fucking awesome. And we'll go out with our first video edited. Perry Chan will be doing the editing. He's doing specific types of videos. I will be doing original videos that are going to be Tim Pool style there. You're going to get something, probably a couple somethings every single day. Freaking Perry's amazing. He's already got 8 videos made, done in the can. So you're going to be getting those. I'll probably release another one tonight. These are going to be more, I think I'm going to do like I think I'm going to cater this to releasing stuff at night, because I mostly release stuff during the day on my channel and Nerdrotic Live, and I will cater this to like you night owls. You can get some entertainment. But these are all going to be clips from Friday Night Tights and the Nerdrotic Nooner and Exozone, and when it's on my channel, and the Inquisition when it's on my channel. And Perry is fucking great. So here is the first video from Nerdrotic Daily. Give me a second here, and I got to get this all sized up, because I should have planned this, but I didn't. There we go. Stop. Yeah, this is really exciting. There we go.
I've had an upgrade. Hi.
I'm sorry?
Nerdrotic.com.
We're going to talk about some crazy Doctor Who rumors. Why the fuck not? So there's a bunch of rumors going around for everything, and who the fuck knows what's true. The last one I reported on, which I'm absolutely standing by, is this will be the first female doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen's last season, and Chris Chibnall's as well. And as time goes on, the more it looks like this is true. And it looks like they're going to shit on things a little more going out the window. Now, these rumors come from Noel, our friend at the TARDIS Zone. Noel he's been right about some stuff. He's been wrong about some stuff, just like I have. Oh, they're getting rid of that police off the police box. That fucking word is going to be erased. But it looks like they might go one further, which would just absolutely fucking... I mean, the show's murdered already, so it doesn't matter. It was just desecrating the corpse. A number of new rumors about the upcoming Doctor Who Series 13 have made their way onto the net. And I think it's filming. I don't know what the situation is in Cardiff, right? Wales? I don't know if they're
Wales is under lockdown right now. They are properly locked down.
But I guess they can film still. That's what
I know that the Batman said they were still going to continue filming in UK through lockdown. So I know they're in different spots, but
no. Boris Johnson said TV and film will still be running because that's essential while you all lose your businesses.
Well, we're not.
Yeah, while you're not.
Fantastic.
I don't know. Yeah, I the fucking patience of the people over there. I appreciate it. As Noel clearly claims at the beginning of the video, seen above, the information he is relaying is purely rumors. One of the rumors revealed in the video is that Jodie Whittaker doctor will come out as bisexual. I could completely believe that.
Why not? Fucking just throw everything at it.
Yep.
Just, yeah.
I mean, the next logical step.
Have her have her be like multi-gendered. She's paralyzed from the neck down in a wheelchair, but she can also walk when she feels like it. And she's black as well sometimes. She's a bug chaser, whatever. Like at this point with the show, you could just have her grow an extra head and no one would even care because it's just like you've ruined it so much.
They canonized all the watch along stories that were written, which means the Doctor can regenerate into animals. Animals.
In general, are we talking about bisexuality in general? As in you are attracted to both sexes, the two of them. Or are you talking about her female form having a relationship with another female form?
We are talking specifically, I believe there is a rumored plot with possibly Marilyn Monroe, and they explore their sexuality together. Again, I don't know. The Doctor to me has always been asexual, but the Doctor also had had kids, grandkids. So I think it shouldn't fucking matter, but it does. Are they going to scissor on the fucking TARDIS? That's all I want to know. Is somebody scissoring on the TARDIS?
I want them scissoring until one of them gushes.
Yep.
All over the console and says, Jesus is real!
I think I'm gonna fucking squirt!
It's fucking ridiculous, and
it's the retardus is what it is.
Retardus,
retardus.
The other one was, I believe, it was about the TARDIS. Like they are gonna, I guess, get rid of it altogether, possibly. Instead of, my speculation will be they just erase the word police from it, but apparently. Why
don't we just erase Doctor Who?
I completely agree.
Do us a favor.
Yeah.
Davros, to non-Doctor Who fans, Davros is the creator of the Daleks, but apparently there was a stronger woman behind him who actually, kind of like what they did with the Emperor in the Disney Star Wars comics.
Yes.
They tried to insinuate there was a stronger woman behind him. They might be doing that with Davros as well.
It's just, it's like a troll at this point. It's just like a giant BBC-sponsored trolling operation, where it's like, we're just going to take what you enjoy and we are going to destroy it with absolute relish.
We hate you so much. We despise you so. We despise the British public so much for giving us money out of their own pockets because we're fucking funded by them, and you've kept us going for nearly 100 years. We hate you so much, we're just going to shit all over everything you fucking love.
And just think, America's getting set to do the same damn thing. If Hollywood takes a bunch of money from the government, what the fuck do you think's going to happen?
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck do you think these fucking Oscar rules are all about, too?
Yeah.
Your wife's hairdressing shop closed down, but a bunch of pretending fuckwads with millions of fucking pounds, dollars, pesetas, Deutschmarks, francs, and fucking yen are living in their palatial mansions, and they require a bailout. Go fuck off.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
Thank you, Az.
Fuck every single write-off there is.
The one thing I can believe, the one thing I absolutely believe. Now, I did a live stream and a video on this right when the rioting started. All right. And they started canceling police shows left and right. I'm like, oh, fucking the police box is gone. It's like or at least they're going to erase the police. And I did 2 live streams. I made a video, and I also hit up my insider, and I said, I never got a definitive answer, but I asked this person, I've said, do you think this is like possibility? And they said, oh, yes. Oh, yes. He said, they're probably having meetings on it, multiple meetings, or they've had discussions about it, because they had discussions about the white feminism thing. Apparently that's an issue. They're a little concerned about that now, because we have the white doctor leading around a couple of people of color, and they're like, oh, that might not look good now. So this is like how the show's run. This is just purely how it's run. It's not like let's entertain people.
I would love, from a writing point of view, to see like all of the constraints that they're put under. It's like, if you're given a Doctor Who episode, it's like, cool, I get to do whatever I want. I can write a Doctor Who episode. And they're like, well, yes, but you have to include, diversity measures like X, Y, and Z. You have to make sure that you don't do this. You have to have none of the characters say this, but you have to portray demographic X in a positive light. and you'll end up with like a 10-page list of things that you must do, and by the time you accomplish all that stuff, you can't create anything remotely interesting. I wonder how it must feel, right, to be working at the BBC and basically just hate yourself and your country and like everything that it represents. Like, how demoralizing must it be to be these people?
All the white people at BBC, like that guy in the Da Vinci Code who like tortures himself with that like spiked belt or whatever. The film. Yeah. That's what all the white people at the BBC do. They go to the bathroom and they like do that a little bit, and then they go back to work and they feel better.
Are you telling me that you are not?
Yeah, I'm not a woman.
White? Oh, the deception, the betrayal, man! You deceived me.
There we go. Our first video, our inaugural video. I'm sure it wasn't spicy at all. It wasn't spicy at all. We're going to get a lot of that. We're not bleeping anything out. We're going to put up our clips, and hopefully you guys like it. Perry put a lot of work into this stuff. He's doing a great job. Freaking love you, Perry Chan. He is a gift to YouTube. He's a gift to YouTube, as is Memology, who was in here earlier. International treasure. So thanks, everyone. Have a really good night. Again, thanks to the Nerdrotics. Thanks to everyone who super chatted. Oh, I better double check. There we go. And is it okay to just watch? I'm a member though. As far as the member streams, yes, you can watch. You don't have to participate, but I'd love you to participate in my member streams. We do a StreamYard and anybody can come in and talk. I'm going to ask you guys if it's okay if I put one or two of those on Nerdrotic Daily, because they end up being really good conversations, like really, really good conversations. So much so, I'm going to be importing some of that into other live streaming. So thanks again, everyone. Have a great night. I will see you on Friday Night Tights not too long from now. Ciao.